Welcome back to a brand new episode of Are You Sure? Today we are looking at the books of Genesis and Exodus. We'll have a new contestant who will try to reach the ultimate cash prize of $200 by getting through 5 rounds of Are You Sure questions. I'm your host, Agape Awad, and please stay tuned for our episode of Are You Sure? Our game show consists of 5 rounds of 5 questions each. Every round increases in the cash prize. The first round, if the contestant passes, will get $25, second round $50, third round $75, fourth round $100, and all the way to the end of the 5th round, they can earn $200. Let's get to know our contestants for today's episode of Are You Sure?
Hello, I am Raggy Caldas and I'm 9 years old. I am in 3rd grade and I'm from California.
Hi, my name is Heaven Galley. I live in California. I am 10 years old and I am in 4th grade.
My name is Jonathan Antone. I'm in 4th grade. I'm 9 years old and I was born in California.
Hello, my name is Betty. I am 13 years old and I am in 7th grade and I live in California.
Hello, my name is Andrew. I am 12 years old. I am in 6th grade and I live in California.
Hi, my name is Maria. I'm 9 years old. I'm in 4th grade and I live in California.
I'm Shanuda. I live in Texas. In Plano, I am 12 years old and I am 6th grade.
Hi, my name is Joanna Getoseed. I'm 11 years old. I'm in 5th grade. I live in California.
Now let's spin the wheel to figure out who today's episode will be on. Betty.
That's me.
Welcome to this week's episode of Are You Sure? Today we have a brand new contestant who will be competing for the cash prize of $200. We're studying from the books of Genesis and Exodus. Let's meet today's contestant, Betty.
Hello, my name is Betty Caldas. I'm 13 years old and I'm in 7th grade.
Nice to meet you, Betty. Are you ready to start today's game show?
Yes.
Are you confident you're going to get all the way to the end?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started with your question 1 from round 1. Let's see question number 1. What did Joseph do after his 10 oldest brothers brought Benjamin to him in the land of Egypt? He imprisoned all 11 brothers, he made all 11 brothers his slaves, or he was overcome with emotion and revealed himself as Joseph, their brother.
Answer number 3, he was overcome with emotion and he revealed himself as Joseph.
Let's see if that's the correct answer. Yes, that is correct. We know from Genesis 45, 4 through 5, and Joseph said to his brothers, "Please come near to me," and they came near. Then he said, "I am Joseph, your brother." Great job, Betty. Question number 2. Where did Israel, whose name is also Jacob, want to be buried after he died? Back in Canaan, where he originally lived, in a new land of Egypt, in a new land far away from Egypt?
Answer number 1, back in Canaan.
Are you sure? Let's see the answer. That is correct. We learned from Genesis 47, verses 29 through 30. Jacob said, "Please do not bury me in Egypt, but let me lie with my fathers. You shall carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burial place." Great job, Betty. Question number 3. Why did God tell Jacob not to fear going down to Egypt? Because God would make of Jacob a great example there, because God would make of Jacob a great prestige there, because God would make Jacob a great nation there.
Answer number 3, because he would make him a great nation there.
Are you sure? Let's see the answer. Yes, that is correct. We know from Genesis 46:3, and he said, "I am God, the God of your father. Fear not to go down to Egypt, for I will make you a great nation." Great job, Betty. Question number 4 of round 1. Before Pharaoh meets with Jacob after arriving at Goshen, who does he meet with first? Before Pharaoh meets with Jacob, he meets with 3 of his sons. Before Pharaoh meets with Jacob, he meets with 6 of Jacob's sons. Or before Pharaoh meets with Jacob, he meets with 5 of Jacob's sons?
Answer number 3, he meets with 5 of Jacob's sons.
Are you sure? Let's see the answer. Yes, that is correct. We know from Genesis 47:1, before Pharaoh meets with Jacob, he meets initially with 5 of Jacob's sons. Great job, Betty. Now, this is going to be the last question of round 1. If you get this right, you are moving on to round 2. Are you ready? Let's see the question. Question number 5 asks, which one of his sons did Jacob say, "You are my might and the beginning of my strength"? He said that of Reuben, he said that of Ephraim, or he said that of Judah?
Answer number 1, Reuben.
Are you sure? Let's see the answer. Correct. We know from Genesis 49:3 that Jacob called his son Reuben his firstborn, his might, and the beginning of his strength. Great job, Betty. You successfully answered 5 questions. We're moving on to round 2. Please stay tuned, and we'll be back after this break with Betty starting question 1 of round 2.
Jacob calls for his sons. Jacob remembers God's promise. Now it came to pass after these things that Joseph was told, "Indeed, your father is sick." And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And Jacob was told, "Look, your son Joseph is coming to you." And Israel strengthened himself and sat up on the bed. Then Jacob said to Joseph, "God Almighty appeared to me at Luz in the land of Canaan and blessed me, and said to me, Behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply you, and I will make of you a multitude of people, and give this land to your descendants after you as an everlasting possession." God Almighty appeared to me at Luz. Luz is another name for Bethel, where Jacob first met God. Jacob vividly remembered this outstanding encounter with the Lord. "Behold, I will make you fruitful and multiply you." Jacob's phrasing is reminiscent of exact promises God made to Abraham. Abraham was careful to pass down the exact words of God's covenant with him to the inheritors of the covenant, because the exact words of God were important. Jacob adopts Joseph's sons as his own. "And now your 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, who were born to you in the land of Egypt before I came to you in Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. Your offspring whom you beget after them shall be yours. They will be called by the name of their brothers in their inheritance. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine." Reuben and Simeon were the first and second born of Israel. Jacob received the 2 sons of Joseph as adopted into the family at the highest level, as if they were his own first and second born.
Welcome back to Are You Sure? Now we're starting round number 2 with Betty. Betty, are you ready for question 1?
Yes.
Question number 1 of round 2. How did Joseph find the chief butler and the baker of the Pharaoh after they had a dream? He found them to be very sad, he found them to be joyful, or he found them troubled?
Answer number 1, sad.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Genesis 40 verse 6, "And Joseph came into them in the morning and looked at them, and they saw that they were sad." Great job. Moving on to question 2. In the story of Joseph, what was before butler in his dream? Before the butler, there was the factory, the mine, or the vine from the vineyard?
Answer number 3, the vine.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Genesis 49:11 that since the butler served wine, in his dream he ended up seeing a vine. Very good. Question number 3. Now this question is from Exodus 16:19. God commanded how much of the bread he gave to be left until the morning the next day. Half of it, none of it, or any amount to be left over is okay?
Answer number 2, none.
None? Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see if that's the correct answer. Yes, that is correct. We know from this verse in Exodus, then Moses said to them, no one is to keep any of it until the morning. Very good. Question number 4. This is also from Exodus 16, verse 30. What did the people do on the 7th day? They played, they worked in the field, or they rested?
Answer number 3, they rested.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. Correct. We know from Exodus 16, 29 through 30, the Lord said, bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the 6th day he gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone is to stay where they are on the 7th day. No one is to go out. So the people rested on the 7th day. Great job, Betty. Question number 5 of round 2. According to Exodus 16:32, what is the manna, the special bread that God gave, to be kept for? It was to be kept for their youth, their ages, or their generations.
Answer number 3, their generations.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. Moses said, this is what the Lord has commanded. Take an omer of manna and keep it for your generations to come, so they can see the bread that I gave you to eat in the wilderness when I brought you out of Egypt. Great job, Betty. You correctly answered 10 questions. You're now moving on to round 3. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Are You Sure? Betty successfully answered 10 questions and earned $50 and is now going to move on to round number 3. Please stay with us on the next episode of Are You Sure, where we will continue with Betty. Of the 5th round to reach the ultimate cash خلاص أنا بنهار، أنا بقولك أنا بنهار. جوناثان راح رقد يمين كده، راح عمل راجي وحياة أبوك تقعد يا راجي.